Welcome to our short midweek devotion sponsored by the Methodist Church in Littleton, Illinois. I haven't put out a devotion for a couple of weeks, and there's a good reason for that. This empty site right now was my family camping ground last week. And part of the week before, for a couple of weeks in there. And we just had a jolly old time. And I knew that the place for me to be was with my grandkids, not stuck off in the corner someplace videotaping some sort, myself. But now they're all gone. Now, usually I start out my weekly devotions with a kind of a very short 1 minute, maybe 2 minute clip, nature clip. But this time I'm going to do something different. Last week, my granddaughter Maria, she asked me if she could be on this week's B-roll and if we could tape her instead of taping the nature clip. So I put together a little bit of, it's just a couple of minutes, it won't take long, a little bit of family reunion, family home movies from the past couple of weeks, and I invite you to enjoy yourself with that. And when we're done, we're going to look in the book of Proverbs. But for now, imagine this place full. I'm in Proverbs chapter 10, and it's wisdom literature. It's one of my favorite books of the Bible, as you probably already know if you've watched this quite a bit. And the trick of Proverbs, the goal is not to learn some sort of cultural understanding, pick up some from an earlier time. It's not to try to see all the theology of what's in that passage. The trick of Proverbs is to take a saying that represents a timeless truth that goes beyond time and beyond culture, and to apply that into our own lives, to sit and chew on it a little while. And while we're chewing on it, ask ourselves, not do we understand this, but how does this apply to me today? Am I being wise in my actions, in my words? Well, let's get to it. Proverbs chapter 10. Now, in typical fashion of Hebrew poetry, Hebrew poetry, we can't really have a lot of rhyming. If we made this rhyme like a song or like poetry that we're accustomed to, it would probably lose the meaning. But we can tell it's poetry by several different things. Often there is a line or a half of a sentence that makes a statement followed by the antithesis to that, looking at it from the other point of view, statement right below it. And the two together make up a verse or make up a statement. Then if it's really important, there may be an emphasis of a repetition of that or something similar to that, maybe 3 different times. Like we could say, the Lord God, the Lord God Almighty, and it gives us emphasis to it. And that's what this passage does. I'm in I'm in Proverbs chapter 10, and I'm going to begin the first verse with the positive statement, or I guess with the negative statement, and then go to the positive. The negative statement: hatred stirs up trouble. And then the positive angle of that: love overlooks the wrongs that others do. Some people that are grumpy, kind of hard to get along with. Wherever they are, it's like walking on eggshells, and wherever they are, it's stirring up some kind of trouble. And then there are other people that sometimes you just kind of get angry with them because they just let everything slide. They care about people, and they just think a lot of the stuff that we get all fussy about isn't worth the fuss. Okay, let's get to the middle section of these 3 parallel types of statements. This is again Proverbs chapter 10. We just did verse 12. Now we're on verse 13. And it starts out with a positive statement and then goes to a negative. And the first one says, if you have good sense, it will show when you speak. That is, people will recognize it. The other side of that, to finish the sentence out: but if you are stupid, you will be beaten with a stick. Well, I don't know if those are the best words to use on people, but it kind of says that what we say, what we do, our words are going to come back to bite us in the hiney. If our words are gracious, if they are filled with truth, if they are filled with affirming others and building others up according to their needs, then people are going to recognize that in us. If they are negative all the time, whether we realize that's the cause or not, it's going to alienate other people. It's going to make other people angry, rude. Sometimes it gets us into all sorts of troubles that we don't even know why. So the trick is to honestly, seriously reflect on the responses that come into us as a result of the words that come out of us. Let's go to the third phrase, or collection of phrases that go through there to add emphasis. The first one, hatred stirs up trouble. Love overlooks the wrongs that others do. The second, if you have good sense, it will show when you speak. And but if you are stupid, you will be beaten with a stick. Here comes the third one. Proverbs chapter 10, verse 14. This trio of verses stand together. If you have good sense, you will learn all you can. But foolish talk will soon destroy you. Now, we've just learned that those that are foolish or those that are full of hatred or those that are always kind of bitey, that they end up alienating people. They end up stirring up a ruckus. They end up sometimes becoming the object of hostility. And in some ways, they end up hurting themselves, and many times, as much as they hurt other people, and don't understand why. But those that keep learning, and I think in this passage, tomorrow I might see this differently. And that's the good thing about Proverbs. You can chew on them and get an idea from them. Look at them the next day, have a totally different idea. But today, in this time, in this place, kind of what I'm thinking is about learning that it's not just about mathematics and science and English and all that sort of thing, but I think it's also learning about ourselves and being open to facing our faults and our shortcomings and our lack of ability in certain areas. And those that have good sense keep on growing. Well, we're about halfway through another week. In just a few days, we'll get to worship with each other again. In the meantime, may God make you into a person of wisdom. I'll close this time with one more brief snippet of our family, a camping trip. Get ready for it. It's going by fast.